Hi guys, it's Sarah of Sarah's Tarot, and I am here today to do a VR to the hashtag My Tarot Identity by Carrie's Mystical Musings, which was put out just a few days ago by Carrie over at Carrie's Mystical Musings. And this tag is super duper fun. It's about your personality through tarot decks. My decks I chose as she was going through the prompts, so they've been sitting on my desk for about 5 days, I want to say, and I've been staring at them like, oh, I need to record the video, but I haven't yet. So here we are. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully this video will be to your liking. I never have said this before, but if you do find it enjoyable, make sure that you subscribe to my channel because I am entertaining, in my opinion, and post videos occasionally. Once I go back to school in a few weeks, it'll be less occasionally, but it'll still be enough to have a presence, I hope. And if not, you can follow me on Instagram because I'm definitely more active over there. So I'm gonna get into it. I have this really pretty egg. I don't know what crystal it is. It looks like amethyst, but I don't think I would buy an amethyst egg, so I'm really not sure. But I don't know. That's gonna be our little corner piece for the day. Maybe I'll tilt it in a little bit. Yeah, okay. So the first prompt for the hashtag My Tarot Identity is the deck that matches your outward aesthetic. Think home decor, wardrobe, and your style. And the deck that I chose for this prompt, believe it or not, is the Tarot of the Wild Witches, which was a Kickstarter either this year or last year. I don't remember. But it has the best matte black edges. Like the sexiest edges. In all black. And this is the deck. It's very realistic. It's very fiery. It's very passionate. It's very aesthetically wise, it's very dark with like little bits of color. My hair used to be this blonde. The bottom of my hair is this blonde still. But the reason that this deck matches my outward aesthetic is because my aesthetic is very witchy. Everyone around me can tell that I'm a witch. Let's just say that. This is bothering me. I didn't realize that this card had a little chip in it, but that's okay. It looks like it just got squished in a little bit. So this matches my outward aesthetic because it's very witchy. You can tell that I'm a witch. I'm also a lab scientist, and you can tell that I'm a lab scientist because I wear long sleeves and long pants in the summer, which is crazy. But wardrobe-wise, it matches. Aesthetic-wise, it matches. This is my resting bitch face for the most part, and that's what I have. Everything about this deck, all of the actions are what I want to aspire to. Like the fires in the forest, not control of animals, but like being able to talk to animals and like having that animal connection. So yeah, this is the deck that I chose, excuse me, for my outward aesthetic, which is the Tarot of the Wild Witches. I think it shuffles pretty well, for the most part. I'm not sure if this deck is in print or out of print. Like I said, it was a Kickstarter that I got in, I think this year, so it may still be in stock. I don't believe it was AI artwork. I think it was just collage, real people. But yeah, this deck, I love the box also. And because it's matte, it fits really well. There's stuff in the area that I usually put my decks when I'm done. I just need to move it all over. Okay. A deck that fits a hidden or guilty pleasure aesthetic you secretly love and rarely show. For this prompt, I chose my horror tarot, and that is because I love horror movies and I never watch them. Mostly because I don't watch movies. But I love horror movies because I love being given nightmares for 5 days. Like, I watched Midsummer and literally had nightmares for 3 days. It was great. And I don't say that sarcastically. Like, why can I not choose? I don't say that sarcastically. I actually did love being scared. It made me think a lot. And if you've seen Midsummer, it was the ending that did it for me, as I'm sure it did for everybody. But this deck usually shuffles pretty well. I think my hands are just broken. But this deck is by Abigail Larson, or illustrated by Abigail Larson, rather. And I love this deck because it's creepy, it's cute, it's witchy. You can see they're doing a Ouija board. It's not necessarily a pip deck. It's more of an illustrated pip deck. Some of the cards are pips, like here. That's kind of pippish. That's a major card. That's a court card. This is pippish, but these are the good pips. Like, this is a good 7 of Cups illustrated pip card. How many more times can I say pips without making it sound weird? Excuse me. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, so I love horror movies. I love everything that has to do with horror. I could have brought out my Beetlejuice tarot also, because I love Beetlejuice. That's not really a horror movie, but that's like a fun, scary movie. And I'm also a Broadway girl, and Beetlejuice on Broadway is one of my favorite shows. So there's also that. But this deck is just super cute. I like this Lovers card. It's just super cute. A lot of us have it. If you don't have it, Abigail Larson also illustrated the Darkwood Tarot. So if the artwork looks familiar, that's probably why. I think I also have one other deck illustrated by her, but I'm not sure. So that was prompt number 2. And then prompt number 3 is the deck that totally matches your personality. And for this prompt, if I can get it, I chose the Star Power Tarot because this deck is just loud and crazy and I don't know what's happening. And that's how I feel about my personality because I'm having an identity crisis, but that's okay. Yeah, I think it's just me. I think I just can't shuffle. But this deck is bright and I am bright. I was going to say colorful. I am colorful in my language. And I don't mean that like cursing. I mean, I am just so straight to the point. And like, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I will tell you off. It's as simple as that. Do your job. But this is the Star Power Tarot. This deck is loud. This deck is crazy. This deck is wild. I think that matches my personality pretty well because I don't know what's happening and I don't know what's going on in this deck either. I think this deck is difficult to read. I get that a lot, that I'm difficult to read. Even by my friend who can totally read people, by Anna. I'm pretty sure she told me that she couldn't read me. Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but she is great. I love Anna. So this deck totally matches my personality because it's very eclectic. It's very everywhere. I am relatively narrow in my likes and dislikes. Like, I like reading maybe not. I enjoy like tarot and oracle, and that's like the main part of my personality besides school and like all of that and what I want to do with my life. But I don't have a job yet, like a full-time working job, because I'm still in school. So I feel like I haven't established like my work personality yet, and this is still very much my college 20s experience, and that's what it feels like. That's what this deck feels like. And I'm very much like, I am living in my 20s, and I'm gonna do what I want and how I want to do it. So I think that that is a very good explanation of this deck also. The second half of that little ramble, not the first half. Me not knowing what's going on is just, you know, life. I don't know. So prompt number 4 is the deck that represents a fun fact or something unique about you. And the deck that I chose for this, all my decks fell over, is The Simpsons Tarot. Because my favorite show, and the only thing I watch on TV besides Tarot Tube, because that's not on TV, is The Simpsons. Literally, the only thing I watch is The Simpsons. I am on like my 5th run through. I'm on season 26 right now. I fall asleep to it every night because my boyfriend works from 2 to midnight. So I fall asleep at like 10 o'clock watching The Simpsons, and then he gets to turn it off when he gets home. It's great. It's a perfect system. So I'm going to stop shuffling the cards now. It's just, they shuffle so well. But my fun fact is that I love The Simpsons. It's just as simple as that. I think that they're predicting the future. I mean, they definitely have this tarot deck and like are pulling cards and have like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. They have someone on their team who can read cards and has this deck and just is messing with all of us. Like this, I know the episodes that most of these cards are from if they reference an episode. Most of them don't, but like you could put it together. But with this deck, you can really create a story, because if I had to think of, because if you give me any Simpsons like title and a little bit of the plot, I probably remember the episode. Maybe not the title. I used to be able to do that with South Park. If you gave me the title, I could tell you season, episode, and the entire plot. That's how much I loved South Park. But I can't watch that shit anymore. But this deck is just perfect. I love The Simpsons. There's nothing better than The Simpsons. And weed, but we'll get there later. I mean, what? I didn't say that. Yeah. So, we will get there later, though. In, like, 2 prompts. So, the next prompt is the deck that feels like your alter ego. And if I could close this box, I would grab the next deck. And the next deck is one from Make Playing Cards, from one of our lovely creators here on YouTube and Instagram. And for me, I keep it in this bag. That is the Rose Bay Tarot by Rose Bay. And this deck feels like an alter ego, feels like my alter ego, because in my mind, I'm all nice and happy and, well, maybe not nice. I'm all happy and content and living among the flowers and just really being free and growing, being happy, being content. I'd rather be content. We'll say content. But this feels like my alter ego because it's simply just a billion roses mixed on tarot cards. And roses are pretty. And I just want to live and be pretty and be happy. I'd rather be a flower than a human, probably. So, yeah, that was a pretty short response, but that is my answer. My alter ego is the Rose Bay Tarot, because it's just full of roses, and it makes me so content, and it's so pretty, and I don't think I'm going to be able to shuffle this, so I'll just go like this. because this deck is massive. I just ordered her new Oracle deck, and I'm super excited. I don't know why I just got so lull-like in my energy. I think it's my meds. I'm also changing my meds so that I can be less unenergetic. If that's a word, if that was correct grammar. I don't think so. But anyway, the next deck is the deck that fits how you are as a bestie. And this is what I was going to get to. This I keep in my little Krista bag with the rainbow and the sun, or the flower, the smiling flower, because they're so cute. They're so pretty. They're so nice and happy. Oh no, please don't get stuck. But this deck is the Pot Tarot. And oh my god, I was watching a new channel to me's video, and they had a Tarot-wana deck, and I flipped my shit. I don't know what I was gonna say. I flipped my shit, and I was like, I need the Tarot-wana deck because the bag it came in was so cute. Did I even say, oops, I hit the camera. Did I even say what this prompt was? It's you as a bestie. And me as a bestie is, I am the stoner bestie. I always have weed. I am the stoner. I love this plant so much. And I know I've mentioned this on my channel before. I always go back and forth as to whether or not I love it because I'm in my 20s and trying to live my life to the fullest and like doing all the things I can, or if it actually helps me medically. And I do have a medical card, and I do use it, and I do need it because of my anxiety, and I need it for school because when I work in the hospital, I need a prescription for it. So I am very conscientious about why. And at the same time, right now, I'm 22 and I'm gonna enjoy it. And I know a lot about it. If I could do anything with my life, if I could just throw away what I went to school for, which I would never do because I love what I'm in school for, I would probably be a cannabis cultivator. And that would be like a new family business because we could do that for sure. But this deck is just the cutest thing. I am the stoner bestie. My one friend and I call each other bestie all the time. He would totally agree with me. So I will go off on this deck a little bit because the majors are just perfect. The minors are quartz. Oh my god, can I talk? The minors are pips. The minors are quartz. No, they're not. The minors are pips. So you can see that there are joints, which I'm pretty sure are swords. Hold on, let me keep looking. Buds are pentacles. Bongs are cups. Pipes are wands, and joints are swords. I'm pretty sure. And the deck is just so pretty, and I love it. It's so aesthetically pleasing. It's so nice. The colors are light. If you are interested in decks like this, there are 3 marijuana decks that I know of. This is one. This is the Pot Tarot. There's the Tarot-wana deck, which I just ordered and I am so excited for. And then there's the 420 Tarot, which is like these little gremlin creatures, and they're so cute. I'm going to put this away later so that you don't have to watch me struggle. Did I shuffle the deck? I don't think I shuffled. We get one shuffle. See how nice that is? So pretty. 5 of cups. I knew that. Alright, not hitting the camera and going on to the next prompt. The next prompt is the deck that represents a place you'd love to live or a dream vacation. And for this prompt, I chose the Tarot Sirena by Mr. Freiborg. And I haven't opened this deck in so long, but I love it. This deck, if I could go live with the mermaids or journey to the mermaids, because they definitely exist, I totally would. And I would love to live in this fantasy world where I am a mermaid, or where I'm living with the mermaids, because that just seems to be the best option. And apparently there's nudity in this deck. I'm sorry. I will try not to show too much of the bad nudity, but this deck is just beautiful. Okay, maybe I wouldn't want to live with that, but that's how I feel sometimes. That's how I literally feel in my head, like there's a sword being stabbed through my head. But this deck is one, sorry, I'm looking at the prompts. This one is definitely somewhere where I would want to live or have a dream vacation, because I love mermaids. This maybe isn't the greatest mermaid depiction deck because of that 9 of Swords. I definitely have a different mermaid deck, but this one feels more realistic, which is why I feel like this would be a better place to vacation. And I did just see that there was one card. Facing the wrong direction. Where'd you go? Did I already miss you? Was it? I'm sorry. You don't need to watch me do this, but the Queen of Cups was being a little stubborn. Okay. So that would be my dream vacation. And now that I look at the cards, maybe it wouldn't be, but that's okay. The idea of going somewhere with the mermaids is really where I was getting. So prompt number 8 is the deck that brings out your creative side. And for this prompt, I actually went into my deep collection and took out a deck that I have not looked at in a while. And that is the Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian C. Wilde. And this was, I think, when this deck was still available, and this was mass market. But now I feel like she has a bunch of other decks. I'm not entirely sure. This deck, I remember one as not being one that spreads very well. Shuffles pretty well, though. And I really like the backs because they're like a grid. They're like the crystal grids. But this deck brings out my creative side because it's really easy to interpret and read. And it's very black and white with just... Oh, actually, you get to stay out. It's black and white with drawings of the elements of the suits, and then it has colored interpretations of everything else. Oh, was this deck in order? If it was, I'm gonna be upset. Oh, it probably was. Oh well, usually I shuffle them a certain way, but that's okay. This deck is absolutely stunning. It's very basic, but also super duper creative, which is why I feel like it brings out my creative side, because it's very colorful and very nature-based, because it's very animal-focused. So I feel like I can be creative because it shows that you can use just black and white to create a base and then add color to enhance it. So that is my response for prompt number 8, the deck that brings out your creative side. And I'm sorry for that awkward pause. I thought I heard the door open, but I'm pretty sure that my boyfriend is sleeping. And my dog is underneath me. So or underneath my desk rather. Hi, TTs. Okay, so prompt number 9 is a deck that represents the landscape in your dreams. And I don't mean to scare anybody by saying this, but oh my gosh, I don't know why I chose the next deck. I may have to change it. No, it's okay. So anyway, this prompt, the deck that represents the landscape in your dreams, this is the Hush Tarot, and it's just kind of terrifying that my dreams look like this. Or they don't look like this, but they have like altercational situations, like I feel like the Hush Tarot has. So this deck, I feel like, could be used for dream interpretation. For me, at least. Because my dreams feel like this deck. They feel confusing. They feel mixed feelings. They feel cluttered, while also having some kind of message hidden deep down that I have to figure out. Which, of course, as the one being the dreamer, you're the one who has to figure out your issues because it's you. But I don't want to think about why. Was this also in order? I don't get it. Why? I don't think I've shuffled this deck in a while. But I don't know. I should really pay more attention. But that's okay. Anyway, this deck represents the landscapes in my dream because it's just so altercational, if that's a word. There's so many things going on. It's just me being put in situations from my past, or being put in situations with people from my past and people from my present that I like get angry for no reason. And I know that that's a me problem, but I can't seem, I'm trying so hard to work on my anger, and it feels like I'm going nowhere. So I just have to kind of maybe do a reading on that with this deck, because I feel like that would make sense. But yeah, let's leave it on that Two of Swords, because why would my dreams look like this? There are lots of kittens in my dreams though, because my sister has 2 cats, and I was just dog sitting for a family that had 2 cats. So cats are on my mind. Okay, prompt number 10, the one that I'm unsure of. The deck that represents your life currently. This deck captures your mood, energy, or season of life at this moment. Oh, maybe I do know why I chose this. Okay, so the deck that I chose is the Stardrop Spirits Tarot, which was also a Kickstarter from this year, and that is the deck inspired by Stardew Valley. And I love this deck so much. I love Stardew Valley. And I actually have, this was the custom card that I got. That's me and my dog. And I don't know if I should put it in the deck or not. I probably should, but I like having it propped up on my altar space. So this is the Stardrop Spirits Tarot inspired by Stardew Valley. And this deck that represents my life, this deck represents my life currently, because when I play Stardew Valley, all I do is farm, and I have a shit ton of animals, like 40 cows, and I said that in my walkthrough. I went through more of how I play in my walkthrough of this deck, but this, when I play Stardew Valley, I am very much planning and thinking ahead. I am growing only wheat for my cows so that I can feed them during the winter. My cows, pigs, goats, sheep, and chickens, ducks, and bunnies. So I have so many animals in that game. I have every animal you can. But that's not the point. The point is that when I'm farming, I'm usually planning really far in ahead. really far in advance and making sure that all my animals will be able to eat. And then I sell the flour that's made, and I put the grain or the hay in the silo, and then it works and I get super rich. I'm like a millionaire in that game. I love it. I have just been sitting here and you have just been looking at the same card. I am so sorry. My brain just totally stopped. My hands stopped. This deck is adorable because it's very much Stardew Valley. I don't even understand like some of the references because I haven't gotten that far in the game, or because all I do in the game is farm. So I just love this deck because it's a cute little pip deck. It's very much representative of this season of my life because I am about to start school again. I'm about to start my 5th year of college. Should have taken me 4 to graduate, but it's taking me 5. So I'm finally starting my senior year. I just finished my first major, so I am officially done with my forensic science minor, my criminal justice major, and now I just need to get my medical lab science major, which I will in May. I'll have enough credit and I'll graduate in May. So it's very much about planning ahead and cultivating that school lifestyle and school mindset, which I have to go back to. And I need to do really well because I need to bring my GPA up even more. Because it's so many things have happened in the past year and a half that have screwed my school life. And you know what? It's part of life. And I've accepted that. But I can still be upset a little bit that my GPA is like 0.03 away from where it needs to be. That's not an exaggeration. It literally is like 0.03, 0.02, something like that. Anyway, those were the main 10 prompts. And then Carrie also included a 11th, I was going to say 12th, an 11th bonus prompt. And that is the deck that you secretly use for predictive readings. One that spills the real tea, and you don't want to admit it, but this deck knows what's coming. And for me, I chose my Tarot of Aphrodite because this deck is like my soulmate. Maybe even more so than the Shadowscapes Tarot. Because this deck just knows. I had to put her away for a little bit because a few months ago, someone came to me for a reading and then wouldn't leave me alone for a reading. And it was a big experience that this deck had to go through because they asked for this deck. And not that my deck was like traumatized, but it needed some time. So I'm glad that I can use this deck for myself again because I love it. I definitely use this as a predictive reader. Not that I do that many predictive readings, but if I had to, I would choose her because she is blessed by the goddess Aphrodite. I say that as I pull the Aphrodite card. And she is just guiding me. So that is my response to prompt 11, the deck that always knows what's coming. And that, my friends, is the end of the video. So if you enjoyed, that's great. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you stayed this long to watch to the end. And I hope you have a good day. I will see you soon.